Although every time I see it, it scares the hell out of me, and then I want chocolate syrup. Every time. It's like, where's that damn Hershey syrup?
Well, yeah. It's hilarious to me that I was scared of that, but not of the birds. And then
that is funny.
And I finally watching that shower scene for the first time when I was 15, I was like, holy crap, that scream went on forever. And I was like, that should be in the world record book. And then that was it. And I just couldn't imagine. I don't know what they did in order to keep that eye open while she was on the floor, but it's just that just creeped me out even more.
Oh yeah, and it's meant to. I mean, I remember the first time I saw it too, but I was 16, and we were watching this film. We were doing this film unit in drama class, and I remember, our teacher, Ms. Taylor, showing us the best and the worst. So we would watch Psycho, we would watch Citizen Kane, and then she would show us Plan 9 from Outer Space. I was actually absent that day, so I didn't get to see the pie plates until much later in life, but... But yeah,
unbelievable.
That is a trip. Oh my God, I cannot believe Leslie Otis is Norma Bates. That's hilarious.
You never would have known that if I didn't say it. And
she looks like one of those people.
That would voice that role.
How'd you like to come to work for Mrs. Endicott Otis? No, I don't think so.
No, now that I know you're Norma Bates, I definitely wouldn't want to work for you.
I would consider cleaning a swinging light bulb a rewarding challenge. Getting knifed in the shower, those are the little crosses one learns to bear.
Oh, man. But I would watch it again and again. I would watch that movie again and again. Even after that first time, I would watch it again and again. I even watched the remake. The remake didn't do anything for me, but I would watch the original time and time again. I would watch.
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it many times. And even though, like I said, even though you know it's coming, there's something about the build-up of it and the structure of it that you're still kind of cringing the whole time.
Just that psycho theme when it's about to happen just literally just makes me...
Oh, yeah, that definitely adds to it.
Yeah. And I just can't get enough of it. Maybe that's just me being stupid, but remember, this is a guy that watches movies late at night that I should not be watching at night. I just watched Pet Sematary for the first time a few months ago.
Oh, no.
At 12:30 in the morning.
Oh, that's funny.
I've never seen Pet Sematary before. And people were like, "You've never seen Pet Sematary?" I was like, "Nope, never watched it."
I've never seen it either, but that's not really my genre. But I've seen a few things. I think for me, it's just there were some things from my past and my childhood that I had to be scared of. So I think that in adulthood, I don't purposely want to be scared watching something. That's my thing. But
I never watched Psycho 2. I just watched.
I don't think anybody watched Psycho 2, did they?
I know, right? But I did watch bits and pieces of it, and I did watch obviously the end where he kills the woman with the shovel. So.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that. So, yeah, I've never seen 2 or 3. I've just heard about them.
Yeah, I just watched the endings of 2 and 3. I didn't watch the movie all the way straight through. So I obviously wanted to see where he hit. I knew that he killed the chick with the shovel, and then in Psycho 3, where it ends, where he's back in the Norma outfit and just starts stabbing the corpse. So so I was just like, yeah, that's the only parts I really wanted to see. It was just the ending, just to see how they ended those movies. But
we'll just jump the shark on that one, yeah.
I just didn't want to do, I didn't want to watch those movies. I was just like, I was just into just the first one, and that was it, and I was done with it. So, yeah.
I wonder what Alfred Hitchcock would have thought of 2 and 3. I'm sure he would have freaked out.
It's interesting how I was watching Alfred Hitchcock, and I never knew Dick York did Alfred Hitchcock Presents episodes until.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I think it's been a while since I saw it. I've lately been going through these Twilight Zone, watching those, like once a night or so, and just I was surprised that David White was on there twice.
David White was on there twice.
And just seeing him playing something completely different from Larry Tate. I mean, I'm ashamed to say that I haven't seen David White in too many other things besides Bewitched, except for this one time he played a doctor on Dynasty. But to see him play these completely different characters, it's like, oh wow! I mean, that was
that's like a lot with these characters or actors on these shows. I mean, David White was on an episode of Mary Tyler Moore and What's Happening, and Casey Rogers did episodes of The Lucy Show with her real hair. And
oh, yeah, right.
With the real red hair.
The real red hair.
Not
the Irene Vernon wig, yeah.
Not the black wig. And so I always thought that was interesting because I would come across this episode. I was like, I didn't know Larry let Louise take work here or have her be an airline stewardess. I didn't know he let her out of the house. So
I didn't know Larry became a doctor when he left McMahon and Tate. Okay.
I know, exactly. And, it was just so interesting seeing all these actors on other shows. And it was, like, interesting seeing Dick Sargent on an episode of Bewitched the season before. He would take over the Darrin role. So I never knew that until I came across it. I said, he was on I Dream of Jeannie? When was this? So,
oh, my God. I didn't even know that. I have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, it was season 4, which was, it was season 4. It was the season right before he became the new Darrin. And then it was when Jeannie, Tony Nelson, and Roger Healy were in this different town, and and Tony and Roger wound up getting arrested. So Dick Sargent was supposed to be Tony's lawyer, but he winds up not being their lawyer because he sides with the person that he was going against because of this. So it was a funny episode listening to Dick Sargent with a twang. So
oh my God, I've got to see that. I'm totally gonna watch that.
So that was fun just to see him before he became Darrin. So that was pretty cool. And
that's almost like an audition in a way.
Kind of. I mean, especially since he was the first person to be chosen for the role of Darrin anyway.
Right.
But of course, he had other contractual obligations, and as well as Tammy Grimes was supposed to be the lead in Bewitched, and I was just like, I don't think that show would have lasted if Tammy Grimes was the lead, and
probably not. Yeah.
I was like, they found their perfect witch, and that was Elizabeth Montgomery, and I was very happy that this decision was made.
I think we all were, yeah.
Because honestly, it would not have been the best decision if Tammy Grimes was the witch. And no offense to Tammy Grimes, don't get me wrong, but it's just like, I just could not see her be this character at all.
Well, in some parallel universe, it happens, so. It'd be interesting to see in that parallel universe if they'd still be talking about the show in 2016.
Yeah. In the one version of Bewitched I will never talk about is the movie. I will never talk about it. Someone asked me that on Twitter, like, did you watch the movie? I was like, and I never wanted to.
See, this is how come I know we're destined to be BFFs, because I never watched it either. I refused. It was like people still ask me, no, I'm sorry, I won't do it. Sorry, I can't.
I will forever refuse to watch the movie. I will never watch the movie. Just from the trailer, obviously I guess everybody watched the trailer, but when I watched the trailer, I just immediately was so dead set against watching it. I did not want to watch it at all. I said, this is making Liz roll in her grave because they just basically desecrated my show. How could you do this to my show?
I know. I mean, some of the effects looked like they would be kind of cool, but that wasn't enough to make me watch it. I mean, I remember
the only thing that I just said I applauded them on was they used the original Twitch noise, and that was it.
Well, at least there's that.
I was like, that was the only thing I gave them credit for, was that they used the original Twitch sound effect, and that was it.
See, and I didn't even know that because I didn't go anywhere near it. I remember reading in the trades when they were going to start filming it, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like a show within a show? What? No, sorry, I just can't even.
See, I was hoping that they weren't going that route. It was going to be, and honestly, if anything, I would have changed it to where it wasn't a show within a show. Obviously, it would have been somewhat of a remake, but not to a point where it acted like this, and not Will Ferrell being in it.
Yeah.
And it being...
And I like Will Ferrell, but...
I like Will Ferrell, but as you said earlier, Jim Carrey would have been...
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So, I honestly would have... I could have seen still Nicole Kidman playing Samantha itself, but Nicole Kidman and Jim Carrey, I think that would have worked if they did it as...
A straight
Bewitched movie. And not a show within a show within a show within a movie.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they were trying to avoid doing the straight-up remake, and I'll applaud them for that, but it's just, I don't know.
I understand why they didn't want to go that route, but yet the other remakes do go that route, so I don't understand why they couldn't go that route.
Yeah. Well, it's just as well they didn't, I suppose. I mean, there's still a part of me that keeps hoping for a continuation. Not a reboot, but a continuation. I know they were talking about doing that a couple of years ago with Samantha's granddaughter. I'm not sure if that would have worked, but I mean, if they had stayed true to the original, I mean, true like in terms of continuity and stuff.
And you know what would be interesting?
Could have worked.
You know what would be interesting about that too is that if they did go that route, still, if they were to ever do that, and have Aaron Murphy involved. Thank
you. It's the only type of thing you could get. It would be Aaron Murphy.
And I say this because I just read about this because I didn't watch the episode yet, but the fact that with these CGIs and holograms and stuff being used a lot, they could totally, but I know that's a thin line that we're treading on, but they could possibly use Liz Montgomery as Samantha as a CGI in there, using a body double and putting her in there with a scene with Tabitha or something. And as I said, I know that's a thin line.
No, I mean, I could kind of see that. I mean, I'm not sure I'm totally on board with it, but it's an interesting idea.
The reason why I bring that up is because they just did something to that effect on Hawaii Five-0 with
really?
With Jack Lord.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
With the new version of McGarrett in a scene with Jack Lord's McGarrett in the CGI form, they used a voice actor and a body double, and they did a CGI where it is of him, of Jack Lord. They did have to get permission from the estate, but they knew...
Well, I would think so, yeah.
They did get permission from the state. They knew they had this worked out several months, and they knew what it was going to be, what they were planning on doing with it, which is why they approved it. So I thought that was very interesting that they were able to do that. They said they wanted to do it when the series ended, but since it's not ending anytime soon, they decided to do it now. So
might as well. It kind of reminds me of the on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Do you remember that when they sent that cast back in time and they ended up in the episode with the Tribbles?
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then there's these other Klingons, or the way they used to do the Klingons in the original series, and they turn to Worf and they're like, "You don't look like that. They don't look anything like you." And he said, "We don't talk about that." I just thought that was so hilarious the way they got around it.
That's so awesome.
But that was like the early. I mean, I'd have to look at it again because it's been so many years. But I mean, that's when CGI was just barely becoming a thing.
Starting, yeah.
So that was in 1996. So it's like I wonder now how good the CGI was. But I mean, that's just because again we're spoiled because CGI has become so much of a thing now. It's almost too much now.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Especially when you see things on stunning Blu-ray. It just like really almost draws out how artificial the CGI can be, and yet some of it's really good. I guess it just sort of depends.
Right.
But I mean, again, this all goes back to how amazing it was that Bewitched was able to do this stuff without CGI.
Without CGI. Absolutely.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy.
I don't know, but I'll tell you one thing. We got to do another one of these conversations again.
That sounds good to me. I like it.
Seriously?
Yeah,
I mean...
Yeah, definitely. I like this.
I could not believe that we spent almost 3 hours talking about Bewitched and Soaps. I mean, this was like the epitome of my existence.